Though, just because her shot is like that, it's at that level. If you really watch, like her floor game is.
It's this event in so many ways, and what Kaitlyn has done, not just in on the court, but just in general for women and girls in sport, and such an inspiration and motivation. So, I really look forward to seeing your game tomorrow.
I saw somebody break down the release time, which is pretty much identical to mine. And then her just confidence out. You can't help but watch when she plays, where she's shooting from, the range, the confidence, the flair. Like, she's a performer. It's crazy though, just because her shot is like that. It's at that level. If you really watch, like her floor game is as impressive. So it's kind of the total package. And her being the French breaking that record, and the amount of attention that she has gained over the course of these last couple of years. Every building she goes into, there's a different energy. Like, it's great for her, great for women's basketball.
It's one of the most baffling stories in sports right now. How is it that a basketball player making a one-off appearance at a golf tournament is somehow generating more positive buzz and genuine excitement than her entire rookie season in her own professional league? The answer to that question exposes a divide in the world of sports that nobody saw coming. What happened when Kaitlyn Clarke stepped onto green was more than just a celebrity cameo. It was a masterclass in how to treat a superstar, and left the WNBA looking completely out of touch.
Honestly, just got so triggered by Kaitlyn Clarke's golf debut, and it is no fault of hers that I got upset. It is the fault of the WNBA, because the LPGA just did everything that the WNBA should have been doing this season. They did it all correct in literally one day.
The LPGA, in a single day, did everything the basketball world should have been doing for months. If you've been following the chaotic journey of Kaitlyn Clarke, you know this is about more than just sports. It's about business jealousy and a shocking failure to recognize a golden opportunity. Stick around, because what we uncovered about the reaction to her golf debut changes everything. And make sure you hit that like button and let us know in the comments. Do you think the WNBA dropped the ball with Kaitlyn Clarke? The moment Kaitlyn Clarke arrived at the LPGA tournament, the atmosphere shifted. You could feel it. A different kind of electricity than the often tense, scrutinized environments she navigated in the WNBA. This wasn't just about sports. It was about a celebration. It was a red carpet welcome, the kind reserved for icons who transcend their game.
Huge win already for the LPGA in terms of publicity. Now, what the LPGA does with this going forward, that remains to be seen. But given Clarke and her love of golf, saying, she was going to go off and become a professional golfer, I think there's an opportunity here for the LPGA to capitalize and maybe make this into more of a partnership that could benefit both sides beyond just this one-off.
Ranked golfer Nelly Korda, the #1 player in the world, didn't just offer a polite, professional nod. She went out of her way to celebrate her, to pull her into the fold. Korda genuinely gushes in interviews detailing how sweet Clarke was, revealing they've been messaging beforehand, and she pointedly highlighted the monumental influence Clarke has, calling it really cool to see firsthand.
This is nice to kind of get to spend some time with her. We've messaged a little on Instagram beforehand, but to get to spend some time with her and to see the influence that she has on people, bringing people out here, and to see how amazing of an influence she is just for sports was really cool to see firsthand today.
It was crucial because it wasn't a backhanded compliment or a veiled shot disguised as praise. It was pure, unfiltered admiration from one elite athlete to another, acknowledging that Clarke's presence was a benefit, not a burden. Mexican golfer Maria Fassi took the spirit of inclusion a step further. In a moment that instantly went viral for its authenticity, Fassi personally approached Clarke, not as a rival, but as a fan of her impact. She introduced herself and stated, "Thank you for being out here. It's very cool what you're doing for sports."
Come say hi. I need to introduce myself. I play out here on tour. I'm Maria. Thank you for being out here. It's very cool what you're doing for sports, kicking ass.
The message was crystal clear and powerfully simple. Your stardom isn't a threat. It's a tide that lifts all boats. The warmth and respect from these professional golfers who have dedicated their lives to sport stood in stark contrast to the persistent narrative of jealousy and resentment that had been following Clarke all season. It was the first major sign that this was not going to be a normal week. It was a paradigm shift happening in real time, showing the world what true support in women's sports could look like when ego is set aside for the greater good of the game. But the players' overwhelmingly positive reactions were only the most visible part of the story. The real undeniable proof of the LPGA's institutional savvy came from its media arm and its strategic execution.
Growing up, and then I remember for one of my birthdays I asked for golf clubs, and I got this cute little pink set. It was probably from, who knows, the store up the street, and a cheap not plastic, but pretty cheap pair. I had them for a while. They were cute, and then eventually got some nice clubs, and
Here's a fact that exposes everything. Originally, this Pro-Am event wasn't even scheduled for television. It was considered a minor behind-the-scenes event. But after an avalanche of emails and social media requests from fans demanding to see Clarke play, the organizers did something the WNBA's structure rarely seemed capable of. They listened and acted with lightning speed. They didn't just set up a simple live stream. The Golf Channel made the unprecedented strategic decision to start its flagship coverage a full 90 minutes early, all to feature snippets of Clarke on the course. A rumor exploded across the internet that sent shockwaves through both the golf and basketball worlds, revealing the depth of public sentiment. A clip surfaced allegedly of the notoriously selective and private Tiger Woods making a stunning statement. In the video, Woods was reported to say that Kaitlyn Clarke didn't get the respect she deserved in the WNBA, and he's glad to see she's finally getting it from the LPGA. The sports world went into a frenzy. If true, this was the ultimate external endorsement. However, almost as quickly, investigations into the clip revealed serious inconsistencies. The audio seemed spliced, the video was glitchy, and the blunt, opinionated words didn't match his known, meticulously reserved public persona. The Tiger Woods quote appears to be unconfirmed, a powerful piece of digital folklore that spread like wildfire precisely because it perfectly captured the public's overwhelming sentiment. The fact that so many people were instantly ready to believe it speaks volumes about how obvious the disparity in treatment between the two leagues has become in the eyes of the world. This dark undercurrent of the Clarke phenomenon, fueled by envy and misinformation, manifested in another more disturbing way that highlights the toxic digital age we live in. Just as a wave of positive press was reaching its peak, a sinister video began circulating across social media platforms. It purported to show a women's basketball icon launching into a vicious, unprompted tirade against Clarke's participation in the golf event, calling her fan base delusional, disrespectful, unknowledgeable, and even stupid, outrageously claiming they gave women's golf a bad name. The reaction was immediate and fierce, with sides quickly being drawn. But soon, a different, more technologically alarming narrative emerged. Sharp-eyed users and digital forensics experts noticed the video was filled with unnatural artifacts and glitches. The audio, upon closer inspection, seemed to be recycled from comments made months earlier and spliced into a new inflammatory context. This was exposed as a deep fake, a manufactured controversy created with the intent to poison the well and create artificial drama where none existed. The very existence of this fake video reveals the toxic, desperate side of the debate surrounding Kaitlyn Clarke. It shows that there are active forces working to fabricate a narrative of conflict, even when the real-world reception is overwhelmingly positive. With all this evidence laid bare, the welcoming athletes, the adaptive media, the legendary endorsements, and even the digitally fabricated backlash, the final undeniable verdict becomes clearer. According to Sports Analysis, the WNBA's failure isn't just a minor misstep. It is a deeper issue rooted in outdated sports management thinking. The argument is that league leadership appears hesitant to fully embrace Clarke as a flagship star, instead trying to balance visibility across players rather than maximizing her unprecedented popularity. This perspective suggests a missed opportunity, leveraging her fame to negotiate bigger TV deals, attract sponsors, and expand the league's reach. Instead, the focus seemed to be on controlling the spotlight rather than amplifying it. In contrast, the LPGA is portrayed as taking the opposite approach, treating her presence as a golden opportunity. They responded to fan demand by adjusting broadcast coverage, promoting her heavily on social media, and encouraging their athletes to openly welcome her, creating a narrative of unity and excitement. These are not complex strategies, but simple marketing principles. When attention arrives, you amplify it rather than resist it. The conclusion drawn is that while one organization hesitated, the other capitalized, turning a cultural moment into a growth opportunity. Could not or would not execute on these same basics is what Dida's analysis frames as the great tragedy of the season. Her analysis truly is a smoking gun that confirms this isn't just a perception bubble among passionate fans or media-driven narrative. It's a recognize and discuss failure within the sports industry itself. The LPGA saw a rising star of cosmic brightness and instinctively built her a bigger stage. No other performance would make their entire theater look more spectacular. The WNBA, it often seemed, asked her to wait in the wings, concerned that her spotlight was too bright for the other performers on stage. This speaks to a broader, more troubling issue in how women's sports leagues sometimes navigate individual superstardom. There's a palpable fear that celebrating one player too much will come at the expense of the team, the league, or the concept of collective success. But what the LPGA demonstrated, and what history in sports has proven time and again, is that transcendent stars are not the enemy of collective growth. They are its primary engine. Michael Jordan didn't just make the Chicago Bulls famous. He globalized the entire NBA. Tiger Woods didn't just win tournaments. He created a multi-billion-dollar economic ripple effect that enriched every golfer on the tour. The LPGA, by rolling out the red carpet for Kaitlyn Clarke, was making a savvy bet that her presence would introduce millions of her fans to the incredible talent of players like Nelly Korda, Lilia Vu, and Rose Zhang. The WNBA's cautious approach, however, risked creating a lose-lose situation. By not fully harnessing Clarke's momentum, they potentially limited the league's overall growth, leaving money and new fans on the table. At the same time, their perceived reluctance to anoint her as the face of the league fueled narratives of resentment and jealousy, creating a divisive atmosphere that often overshadowed the actual basketball. It created a situation where Clarke's every success was framed as a loss for others, a zero-sum game that the LPGA rejected. The golf world's message was, "Your success is our success," while the basketball world often shifted toward, "Why is her success getting more attention than ours?" This fundamental difference in mindset is the core of the failure. It's a lesson in modern brand building. You cannot manufacture stars through collective agreement, but when one arrives organically, the entire organization must align to amplify her. The LPGA understood the attention economy. They were agile, opportunistic, and confident enough in their product to believe that Clarke's fans, once tuning in for her, would stay for the skill of other competitors. The verdict then is clear. This wasn't just about one golf tournament. It was a live case study exposing a strategic divergence. One league saw rocket fuel for growth. The other saw a fire it needed control. And in sports entertainment, that difference is everything. In the end, the story of Kaitlyn Clarke's golf debut is a tale of two leagues with two vastly different visions for the future. One saw generational talent as a key to unlocking new growth, fans, and relevance. The other saw disruption to the established order and a challenge to the status quo. The LPGA's approach wasn't just kindness. It was strategic business thinking that showcased the sport in a positive, forward-looking light. It demonstrated that when you confidently uplift your stars and build a bigger stage, everyone wins. Players get more exposure, sponsors get more value, and fans get more compelling product. The WNBA's recent season, often marked by peripheral narratives of tension and missed marketing opportunities, now stands as a cautionary tale in the modern sports landscape. The question now is which path other sports organizations will follow. Will they embrace singular stars who can transform entire games, or will internal politics and caution hold them back? The future growth of women's sports may depend on that answer. This is about more than one athlete. It's a blueprint for success.